This week's form drawing exercise is an exercise that combines the exercises from the last two form drawing videos that we've done. And in this exercise, we start off with the former of the two latter exercises. So we start off by creating our loop, comes out to the side and create a loop, go down to create a loop, over to the side to create our loop, and up to create our loop, and meet up with our line where we started it. The next form that we want to draw, we could start like this, but I'm going to start it inside. It just gives a nice kind of curve round. So I'm going to start inside and then curve round, create a loop, and come out the form, loop around or curve around, and then we create our loop here, and then we curve around, create our loop, curve round and create our loop, and curve round to meet up with our line where we started it. So as you can see, what you need to pay attention to is that the curves all the way around your form are kind of roughly the same, so you have a nice sort of form. So you can see my curve here. I could work with that and I could go over it. What I'll do instead though, I think, is I'll just use a crayon to draw up the form. So I'll use the blue to draw up the form that we drew first, or I drew first. You could draw either first, really. Whatever you maybe find easier. So I'm just drawing up the blue here. So, and then I'll just draw up the red that intersects it. As you can see, this crayon, pressing quite hard on the crayon so you can see the colour, which also makes it harder to kind of go in a flow, which is also actually why I don't really recommend doing the form drawing with a coloured crayon, because I feel there's a little bit of sort of resistance in the crayon when you draw with it, which means that making the flow is harder. It's much easier, I think, when you use graphite. It just glides over the paper really nicely, which is, you don't get that with a kind of oily crayon like this. But of course you can use it afterwards to give yourself a sense of more easily seeing whether your form is really harmonious, or whether you should work on creating something that's more harmonious, where you should maybe adjust your line. So you can see here my curve is, my outside curves I think are fairly successful, but I could work with the bottom line curve here. So really, the two forms, individual forms that we've worked with are this one, that's the blue, and the red one, which is this one. All right, that's all for this week's form drawing exercise. I'll be back next week with a new form drawing exercise for you.